5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM Radio Main News. The headlines. 16 suspects believed to be members of violent junkie groups have been arrested in Matero. JCTR's Basic Needs and Nutrition Basket for September 2025 reveals a marginal drop in the cost of living. And Sudan militia leader convicted of war crimes during Darfur War. This bulletin is live on our Facebook page, 5FM Radio Zambia, and live on our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, my name is Lance Sannie. 16 suspects believed to be members of violent junkie groups have been arrested following riotous behavior during a funeral in Lusaka's Matero area. According to Zambia police spokesperson Ray Hamonga, the arrests stem from a violent incident that occurred on October 1st, 2025, around 14 hours during the funeral service of Mulilo Chisha, aged 47, held at Great Ministries Church in the Ballaston area. Mr. Hamonga says the suspects committed various crimes, including theft, assault, malicious damage to property, and riotous behavior. He says using viral video footage and intelligence reports, launched a coordinated night operation between North targeting hotspots in Ballaston, Lilanda. The 16 suspects, aged between 19 and have all been jointly charged and arrested. Among them are Thomas Mudenda, Muchemwankole, Michael Chileshe, Brighton Wakumelo, Mubita, and 12 others whose names have been released by the police. Police also recovered a number of items linked to the crimes. Items seized during the operation include 2 unregistered vehicles, a Toyota Vitz and a Honda Fit, 94 sachets of suspected cannabis, a military bayonet, knife, taser gun, handcuffs, and a military tactical vest plus cuff sticks, a short baton, and packaging materials. Mr. Hamonga says all suspects are currently in police custody and will appear in court soon.
During the operation, a total of 16 suspects, all believed to be part of the notorious junkie groups, were apprehended. The suspects have been identified as follows: Thomas Mudenda, age 23, Muchemwa Nkole, age 20, Lucky Shambwe, age 29, Michael Chileshe, age 20, Pearson Puri, age 25, Samson Moyo, age 23, Darrington Mwangerwa, age 26, Douglas Kasanga, age 22, Cosmas Chewe, age 23, Godwin Banda, age 30, Douglas Mwangelwa, Joseph Mwamba, age 29, Innocent Njovu, age 24.
The Zambia Police Service has confirmed an incident of suicide which occurred in Moonwood area of Chainda Road yesterday, October 5th, 2025, around 13:30 hours. Simon Mwansakapwepwe Police Station received a report at 14 hours from Betty Mianda of the same area, who informed the police that she had been caught by an unknown person notifying her that her cousin, Given Mobile, aged 40, had hanged himself in the bush near Minwood Gate of Chainda Road. Police Public Relations Officer Ray Hamonga says on the material date, the now deceased Given Mobile had an argument with his wife Clara Soko at their home in Chainda. Mr. Hamonga says the wife later indicated that she was going to leave their matrimonial home. Following the disagreement, the deceased left the house and went to Chainda Market, where he was seen consuming beer. Mr. Hamonga says while there, he was reportedly overheard telling some people that he intended to hang himself. He says after drinking, he left the market and his whereabouts were unknown until the sad discovery of his body. He says police officers rushed to the scene and found the deceased hanging from a tree with his hands holding the rope around his neck.
The Zambia Police Service, which has confirmed an incident of suicide which occurred in Minwood area of Chainda Road yesterday, the 5th of October 2025, at around 13:30 hours. Simon Wansakwe Police Station received a report at 14 hours from Betty Mianda of the same area, who informed the police that she had been called by a unknown person notifying her that her cousin, given Mobile, aged 40, had hanged himself in the nearby bush.
The Lusaka City Council (LCC) has taken a proactive step in intensifying public awareness on the dangers of public nuisance that create risks of spreading diseases such as cholera. This move is aimed at addressing the growing concern of open defecation and urination, particularly in markets and bus stations. LCC Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba says these practices have been identified as major public health nuisances that pose significant risks to the environment and public health. Ms. Mwamba says the Council's efforts to combat this issue are being spearheaded by the Department of Public Health, which has made it a priority to educate the public on the importance of proper hygiene and sanitation. She says the council is ensuring that the public health messages are disseminated to all corners of the city, emphasizing that such behavior is unacceptable and poses health risks. Ms. Mwamba says the Department of Public Health has intensified its awareness campaigns, focusing on markets and bus stations. Practice is most prevalent,
especially in markets and bus stations. These practices have been identified as a major public health nuisances that pose significant risks to the environment and public health. The Council's efforts to combat this issue are being spearheaded by the Department of Public Health, which has made it a priority to educate the public on the importance of proper hygiene and sanitation. The Council is ensuring that public health messages are disseminated to all corners of the city, emphasizing that such behavior is unacceptable and poses high health risks. The Department of Public Health has campaigns.
The Zambia Police Service, which has confirmed an incident which occurred.
Apologies for that. The Electoral Commission of Zambia (ECZ) has urged voter education facilitators in Lumezi to ensure that they provide voter information that is accurate, impartial, and accessible to all, including persons with disabilities and people in rural or hard-to-reach areas in the upcoming electoral activities. The Commission has also reminded the VEFs who will be deployed this week to provide voter education during the mass registration of voters to remain guided by the principles of impartiality, objectivity, and transparency that form the cornerstone of its work. The ECZ will undertake a scheduled mass voter registration from 13th October to 11th November 2025. The Commission is currently holding a voter facilitators workshop in Lumezi for voter education facilitators and members of the district voter education committee, after which 15 facilitators will be deployed to conduct voter education across all wards in the district. Speaking to the official opening of the workshop this morning, Lumezi District Registration Officer Mary Sinkala said voter education will be critical to the process through the mobilization of eligible citizens, including first-time voters and persons with disabilities, to access voter registration services information. She further reminded facilitators that during the mass registration of voters, or those who were registered as voters in 2020 or during the continuous registration of voters exercise will not be required to register. Meanwhile, Ms. Sinkala expressed delight that participants in the training comprised largely first-time facilitators, which is a good indicator that it is not always that the same individuals should want to take up the position even for 10 years continuously when there are other people willing to learn. And speaking earlier, Lumezi District Voter Education Trainer Vet David Nguni assured the district registration officer that voter education in Lumezi will be carried out successfully based on the facilitators' participations. This is contained in a statement issued by Lumensi District Voter Education and Publicity Coordinator Ivan Muyumbwa. And in other news trending this evening, the new Congress party says it has begun preparing independently for the upcoming provincial conference ahead of the 2026 general elections. The former expatriate teachers coordinating committee has welcomed the arrest of Morrison Yaku Obeng by the Drug Enforcement Commission, describing it as a major step in exposing fraudulent activities targeting long-standing teacher benefits. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
The Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, has released its basic needs and nutrition basket for September 2025, revealing a marginal drop in the cost of living for a typical family of 5 in Lusaka. According to the report, the total monthly cost decreased by 142 kwacha 19 ngwe, falling from 11,432 kwacha 17 ngwe in August to 11,289 kwacha 98 ngwe in September. JCTR Social and Economic Development Program Manager Edward Musosa says the reduction was largely driven by non-food items, particularly a significant drop in the cost of charcoal, which fell by over 170 kwacha, likely due to improved supply or seasonal demand changes. He, however, says while the overall basket decreased, the food basket saw a slight rise of 12 kwacha 15 ngwe, triggered by sharp increases in protein-rich foods. The prices of carpenter rose dramatically by 147 kwacha, while beef and beans also registered increases, putting pressure on household nutrition. He says these increases were partially rather offset by price drops in vegetables, tomatoes, and rice, with vegetables falling by a notable 220 kwacha 8 ngwe. Despite the marginal relief, JCTR warns that the cost of basic living remains alarmingly high and is calling for bold policy action to protect the vulnerable people. Hence the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And in news from across our borders, a Sudanese militia leader has been found guilty of committing war crimes and crimes against humanity more than 20 years ago in the Darfur region. Ali Mohammed Ali Abd al-Raham, also known as Ali Rushad, led the Janjaweed, a government-backed group that terrorized Darfur, killing hundreds of thousands of people. Kushab is the first person to be tried by the International Criminal Court (ICC) for the atrocities in Darfur. He had argued it was a case of mistaken identity. The conflict lasted from 2003 rather to 2020 and was one of the world's gravest humanitarian disasters. And in sports news, England's Red Roses making a successful defense of their Rugby World Cup title in Australia in 2029 is part of a 5-year Rugby Football Union plan to keep growing the women's game. John Mitchell's team, who extended their record winning streak to 33 matches by beating Canada in the Rugby World Cup final last month, have also been set a target of returning a 90% win ratio over the period. Alex Tisdale, the RFU's director of the women's game, said the Red Roses have long set the standard for the women's game, globally winning trophies, smashing records, and inspiring a new generation of girls to dream bigger. And now, the weather.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Northwestern, Northern, and Luapula provinces, including the northern parts of Mochinga province and the eastern parts of Eastern province, is slightly windy and warm with few clouds. Western, Southern, Lusaka, Central, and Copperbelt provinces, including the southern parts of Mochinga province and the eastern parts of Eastern province, is tending to be very hot in the valley areas. That item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. "16 suspects believed to be members of violent junkie groups have been arrested following riotous behavior during a funeral in Lusaka's Matero area." The Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection has released its basic needs and nutrition basket for September 2025, revealing a marginal drop in the cost of living for a typical family of 5 in Lusaka. And finally, a Sudanese militia leader has been found guilty of committing war crimes and crimes against humanity more than 20 years ago in the Darfur region. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the happy world of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Lance Sannie. Enjoy the rest of the evening.